Hey everybody, it's Party Elite, back with the North America Pack DLC showcase for Planet Zoo. As we kick today's episode off, folks, I just want to very quickly mention that if you've been enjoying what you've been seeing with this DLC, if you haven't picked it up yet, and if you're planning on picking it up, or any other DLC for Planet Zoo or the game itself, you're actually able to do so at the link I have included in the description down below. And if you actually pick the game up over there, or the DLC, or any other game that you find over there, you'll actually be supporting the channel as you buy. No obligation, no pressure, anything like that, but I don't think I've mentioned it during a time-lapse before in this mini-series, so I just thought I'd mention it really quickly. If you're planning on picking this DLC or game or any other game up, don't hesitate to check that link out and, support the channel as you buy if you would like to do so. Of course, there's absolutely no pressure or obligation, just thought I would let you know that link is down there. Now, with that said, today, folks, we are adding what is probably the cutest animal in this DLC. Now, it's up for debate, maybe. Beavers are extremely adorable as well, but the Arctic fox, I think, just edges them out. They're so cute. They're so cute. And I do think the Arctic fox is the cutest animal in this DLC. I don't know. What do you guys think? What's your opinion? Let me know in the comments. What's your opinion? I think it's the Arctic fox, the cutest animal in the DLC. It's hard to say. And I mean adult and baby. Get like an average going. And I feel like that's why the Arctic fox I don't know, beavers are really cute though. Anyway, sorry. I'm getting distracted. I think Arctic foxes are adorable, and I'm really excited to add them to this zoo, to this mini-series, and I'm really excited to, show you how they are, animated and expressed afterwards, because I think they've done a fantastic job. Really excited for everything to come this episode. But the first order of business is, of course, to build them a space. Now, you might be wondering what's going on over here. Maybe you have a bit of an inclination as to what I'm building over here. Maybe you're completely thrown off by the various shapes and structures you're seeing. Well, I figured it would be nice to once again tap into a little bit of Canadiana, as it were, and build what I think is safe to say is a quintessential Canadian experience. I think it's safe to say that the vast majority of Canadians have experienced the cottage. It's hard to tell. Again, I'm in Ontario. Ontario does have each province is so distinct in so very many ways. So it is sometimes difficult to make a statement like that. So if I'm wrong, feel free to correct me. But as an Ontarian, and as a Torontonian, I suppose more specifically, going to the cottage is something I think almost every Torontonian is expected to do at least once in their life. Whether it's their own cottage, their parents' cottage, a family friend's cottage, a rented cottage, a cottage with their friends, whatever it might be. Going to the cottage is just one of those things which it's almost like when you tell people you haven't been to a cottage, it's almost like, oh, well, let's figure that out, So I thought, why don't we tap into that and build the sort of, again, that quintessential cottage experience, so to speak. So we've got the, again, I'm not building an actual full-fledged cottage, though arguably some people would say that, oh yeah, that's about a cottage. It's just one room, and then you have a little deck, and you use that deck to dive off of, or, sit on your chair and catch some rays, or just lie down and catch some rays. But some people will say, oh no, a cottage, it's got to be a 3-story mansion. Cottages come in all shapes and sizes, and I've seen them in all shapes and sizes. Again, some are very humble and quaint and fit the term cottage, and others are they're just mansions on the lake. And to each their own, I suppose. But the benefit of my angle over here is that we actually get to build a little shed to the side, which is where one might, put their, windsurfing equipment or their canoe or something like that. I actually do have to go back and rebuild it because Planet Zoo decided to crash on me, but that's okay because it gives me longer to talk about my plans over here. But yeah, so the benefit of my approach over here is that A, I don't have to build a mansion, and B, I get to make another quaint little, shed in which, again, one might put a canoe or windsurfing equipment. We're going to be putting some Arctic fox bedding. Some cottages have entire, boat houses where they house 2 or 3 motorboats and things like that. Like I said, cottages come in all shapes and sizes. But yeah, the one I'm building is supposed to be a bit more quaint and you know, cottagey. I don't know. There's something about those. I have nothing against the more luxurious, you know, approach, I suppose, but to me, it's very different. It's very different from the word cottage. It's more like vacation home, a lake house, maybe, you know, as opposed to cottage. But anyway, I thought we'd kind of give a subtle nod to that, and I'm pretty pleased with how it turned out. Actually, you might have noticed I was playing around with the seated animal talk item. I thought it might work nicely as opposed to putting down some deck chairs or building some Muskoka chairs or Adirondacks, if you will. Call them Muskoka chairs up over here. But it didn't really work out. It was too bulky. It was too big. It completely took away from the space. We'll experiment with it some other time. I actually mentioned this at the end of the episode as well, but I've seen your requests to check out some of the other mechanics and new systems that have been made available with the latest patch and stuff, including the seated animal talks, the barriers on paths and things like that. So we will definitely check some of that stuff out as well. I was hoping to, as you saw, do that today, but unfortunately didn't really fit the space. I'll try to force, or not force, but I'll try to build a space around those concepts in the near future. But as you can see, I mean, it's a relatively simple enclosure outside of, or even including the build. I didn't want to go over the top. Sometimes it's nice to keep things a little simple. You know, not everything has to be an overblown endeavor or undertaking. And I feel like despite the simplicity of this space, it's actually quite nice. And the final frame that I actually hold on at the end of this time lapse, it has that sense of like kind of tranquility and serenity that I feel like I've been chasing quite a bit in this miniseries. Sorry. So I'm quite pleased with it. But yeah, it's not overly complicated, just a couple of pieces here and there. What I was kind of tempted to do was to actually build a Muskoka chair, but I don't think there are plank pieces that are small enough to do that, and that's why I actually go with the aquatic benches. Still, honestly, that aquatic DLC has some of my favorite building pieces. We use it, I mean, quite a bit during this time lapse, and I still am a little bummed out that we didn't get more North America specific pieces with this DLC. I've said this a couple times, so I won't belabor the point, but it would have been nice to include some cultural references, some more North American specific pieces, just add more pieces in general. It's a nice thing to have for a game like this. But again, it's nothing too overdone over here. A nice, quaint, quiet little space. We're going to get some coolers down. We're going to get some power down as well. We also put down some facilities to try and coerce or convince guests to come over here. An excellent suggestion I got from the comments. And with reference to the comments again, folks, I mean, I'd love to hear your thoughts on these spaces and the spaces we made before as well. We're just about done this time lapse. Again, didn't overdo it. So I think it was maybe like 5 or so minutes, maybe 5 or 10 minutes shorter than the usual. But of course, with the crash, a lot of work had to be redone. But a fairly nice space, I think. I hope you like it, because I certainly do. Again, like I said, it kind of hits those like serene, tranquil tones that I seem to be going for these days. But let me know down below. All right, folks, we are back from the time lapse, and I am pretty pleased with our overall setup over here. Again, trying not to make these overly complicated and trying to execute certain feelings and vibes, and I feel like they've all been working out pretty nicely. Again, I guess I wouldn't have had a chance to mention this during the time lapse itself, but I was really happy to see the response, especially to our latest edition in the last session. It was all positive vibes, and it's always good to see. Some of y'all were throwing down some real heavy compliments, and I honestly appreciate that greatly. A lot of the time, it's fun to see how a simple focal point can bring about such a response, and that's a lot of the time that's my like driving force as far as a kind of design approach as it might be. Like, with our beavers over here, we had, of course, the lodge and the dam, and of course over here we've got our central structure, which is kind of hard to miss, while over here we've gone ahead and tried to replicate sort of a very familiar scene to most. I won't say I think it's safe to say most Canadians, and you'll definitely see I've got a very Canadian leaning towards our North America Pack DLC coverage over here. I can't help myself. I see all the coverage from the folks over at Frontier focusing around the States, and that's great and all, of course. And I might try and integrate some more U.S. centered ideas and stuff as well. But I thought, like I said right at the beginning, when we got the Beavers in, I thought this would be a great opportunity to get some of Canadian representation going. Why not, right? It's I've obviously got my personal biases, so I thought it would be a great opportunity to do that. Now, I don't know if this is exclusive to Canadians or anything like that. I'm sure you've got cottage country and stuff down in the States as well. I'm sure it exists, across the world, and just like across the world, anywhere where this kind of climate exists. But going to the cottage is one of those quintessential Canadian things. I think it's almost like an expectation, whether it's true or not, that every Canadian has been to a cottage, whether it be their own or a rented one or what have you. But anyway, folks, enough talk about stuff I'm sure I've already talked about during the time lapse. Let's go ahead and get the animal in here. I've been looking forward to this since this DLC was announced. I've been looking forward to this since before this DLC was announced. I like, it had to be coming. I knew it was coming at some point, and I'm really glad that it's coming with its like unique animations and stuff as well, particularly as it pertains to seeking out food. But folks, today, I'm sure the title and everything gave it away. Today we're adding the Arctic fox. They are, okay, I did not know this was the image in Zoopedia. This is just adorable. They are, honestly, I feel like I say this for every like canine related animal. They're just the cutest. I can't help myself. These guys are so adorable though, with especially again how they like hunt. You'll see the animation. I do believe, I'm like 99% sure it is in game, and they're just, they're so cute, and I really hope we get some puppers, and I'm gonna try and not get too distracted by the Arctic foxes as we add some of the later animals. I was actually going to leave the Arctic fox for further down the line, but so many of you were making requests in the comments to see it come through a bit sooner, and I also quite like the Arctic fox, so we're going ahead and adding the Arctic fox today. So the Arctic fox, let's actually start reading Zoopedia. Vulpes lagopus. Least concern, population in wild is 110,000. The Arctic fox, oh hey, hang on. Is this one of the first times, if not the only time, that the paragraph over here doesn't include in parentheses the Latin name for it? Anyway, the Arctic fox is a small species of canid that lives in the Arctic regions and alpine tundra of Canada, the USA, Greenland, Iceland, Norway, Sweden, Finland, and Russia. In the winter, most Arctic foxes have a thick white coat that insulates them from extreme temperatures. In summer, their coat is brown or dark gray, pale on the underside, and is much thinner. A small percentage of the population stays brown in both winter and summer, known as blue morphs. That's actually very interesting. I was wondering about that because, like, when we popped this image open, in the back of my head, I was like thinking, oh, I guess I've mixed the Arctic fox with like not Arctic foxes, with other types of foxes in my head, because I was so sure that I've seen Arctic foxes that were, that fit this categorization of the blue morph, and I was like, I was ready to be proven wrong. I'm always cool with that. If I'm wrong about something, I'm always cool with that. It's always good to learn more. But turns out, no, I was right. The animals that I thought were Arctic foxes were indeed Arctic foxes, but I didn't realize that it wasn't just a seasonal thing, but in fact some keep these colored coats year round in both winter and summer. Interesting. The Arctic fox has broad, rounded ears, small amber eyes, and a small black nose. Everything's small. They're small. Everything's small. They stand 10 to 12 inches tall at the shoulder and have a tail length of 10 to 12 inches. I'm losing my mind just reading these measurements, man. Males have a head body length of 18 to 27.2 inches and weigh between 7 and 20.6 pounds at an average of 7.7 pounds. Females are slightly smaller, with a head body length of 16 to 22 inches and weigh between 3 and 7 pounds, averaging 6.4 pounds. Arctic foxes are not endangered. Oh, they're so cute. They're so cute. They're just so, I just can't. They're just absolutely adorable. Natural habitat, spread right across the Arctic Circle there, I suppose. And yeah, you know what? I'd say they're definitely they definitely live along cottage country. Further south, further north, I mean, you're not going to end up, I mean, who knows? I shouldn't speak so with such broad strokes, but you're not typically going to end up with a cottage, up around over here. But yeah, you'll find cottages down along this bottom section over here, for sure. But yeah, North America, Europe, and Asia regions, again, we looked at all this. They are comfortable with both taiga and tundra biomes. I kind of focused on taiga because it felt a bit more fitting for this, kind of cottage getaway kind of a vibe. But they are comfy with the tundra biome as well. And I'm sure we have more than enough space. I mean, we always end up with more than enough space. It's just how I do. So I think we'll be fine. I do believe also that the Arctic fox is the animal that has the lowest temperature threshold in this entire game, if I'm not mistaken. And that negative 50. See, now we're talking. Now is actually negative 50 to 28 degrees Celsius. Now we're talking Canadian, like what should I say? Densely inhabited Canadian temperature ranges. Like, I wasn't joking about Winnipeg. I saw a couple of comments just not believe me about negative 40 degrees Celsius. And by the way, negative 40 Celsius and negative 40 Fahrenheit, as I verified recently, are actually the same. I've never understood Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit, it's sort of all over the place in terms of how the conversion formula works. So I've never really understood Fahrenheit in that sense. I think 30 is freezing. With Celsius, 0 is freezing, 100 is boiling for water, and negative 100. I mean, geez, we should all just use Kelvin. But no, yeah, I'm being 100% serious when I say, like, a lot of parts of Canada where people live in cities, you will, relatively consistently get negative 40 every winter. You'll get that negative 40. But in a place like Toronto, which again is further down south, you'll get anything from negative 40 to positive 40. Okay, no, positive 40. No, you won't get positive 40. More like 32, 33. So, this is right around that range, I would say. Species data. Sorry, I spent way too much long talking about Canadian climate. It's just because, winter is coming, and it's supposedly going to be a bad one, and I am not ready for it. I got some wild adventures planned as well for December, so we'll see. We'll see how the weather cooperates. Can't wait to share some of those adventures too. On the topic of doing things in the Canadian hinterlands, let's say. Group size 1 to 8, up to 6 males, up to 6 females. Okay. Male bachelor group size is 1 to 5. Female bachelor group size is 1 to 5 as well. The dominant system is, as we probably all expected, alpha male, alpha female. Mating system is monogamous. Relations with humans is shy, so I might need to change the glass into one-way glass, actually. And guests are not allowed to enter the habitat, which really is quite unfortunate because I would love to hang out with a couple of Arctic foxes. I feel like they'd be relatively harmless. Like, those teeth can't possibly hurt. Look how tiny they are. They can't possibly hurt. Though, truth be told, they'd probably be more scared of us, I think, because they're so small. We're probably terrifying to Arctic foxes. I mean, I don't know. I'm speaking just, I'm making an assumption here, but I imagine they're more scared of us than we are of them, right? Or they're extremely, vicious. You know how small dogs tend to be very aggressive to make up for their size, or so I believe. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some of that over here. Size, on that note, on average for males is 22.6 inches long. For females is 19.2 inches long. Life expectancy is 13 years across the board, and weight is 7.7 pounds on average for males and 6.38 on average for females. Pounds, of course. Age of sexual maturity is at 1 year. Sterility is at 10. So they're definitely going to go sterile before they reach their average kind of life expectancy. Number of offspring per mating event is 3 to 6, gestation of 1 month, interbirth of 12, and reproduction in captivity is easy. And that's why I wasn't too worried about, getting them in the zoo ASAP, because I had a feeling we'd probably get babies pretty quickly. 1 month gestation, though, that's really fast. Damn. Social needs. Arctic foxes are social animals that live in family packs. In an average pack, there is an alpha male and alpha female, their young adult offspring, and a litter of pups less than a year old. Reproduction. In an Arctic fox pack, there is an alpha male and an alpha female, and their first and second generation offspring. Packs are familial. The alphas are monogamous and usually do not mate with any other individuals, although promiscuity may occur when there is an abundance of food. That's so interesting. Okay, interesting. I mean, somewhere, I guess, instinctually, the Arctic fox brain goes, hey, we have the opportunity to propagate the species further than what we usually do, so let's go for it because there is an abundance of food, so let's take advantage of that, secure the next generation of the species beyond just one mating pair. And they do. I find these kinds of little things I find fascinating always. As the female is approaching estrus, the alpha male and female will bond. They will spend time close to each other and play together. The female fox will have 3 to 5 fertile days in the breeding season. The hormonal changes and smell of her urine will alert the alpha male to her receptive state. The alphas will mate multiple times during this period. Mating and breeding depend heavily on food availability, as we've kind of been hinted at before. Arctic fox numbers in the wild are strongly linked to the abundance of lemmings. In an abundant year, Arctic foxes will mate numerous times, and the female is more likely to give birth to a large litter. What? How does that work? What's the biology behind that? If there's more food, like I understand if there's more food, there'll be more mating pairs. Like the alpha male will mate with more females. I understand that because, the alpha male and like all the Arctic foxes can observe, hey, food is plentiful, let's take advantage of this, right? But if the Arctic fox female is already pregnant, is it, what? Arctic foxes will mate numerous times, and the female is more likely to give birth to a larger litter. One larger litter. It's not saying multiple litters over the course of one season. It's one larger litter. It's like what? It's the Arctic fox internally. Its hormones can tell that there's more food. Is there something in the food, or how does that? Something doesn't compute here in my brain. I'm missing something. But that's fascinating. I'm really curious about how that works. Anyway, non-alphas may also mate and reproduce, again, presumably when food is plentiful. During a year with scarce food, foxes will have smaller litters or may not mate at all. Like, is it just that some of the babies are not fully developing and stuff because there isn't enough sustenance to make it happen? Like that makes sense, right? Because there's not enough food, and so I mean, again, I don't claim to be a biologist, or this is not my area of expertise, but that makes sense to me as a layman, right? Like, okay, I get it. There's not enough food to sustain the gestation of all of the pups, and so the litter is smaller. Or if there is enough food, then the litter is larger because they all make it, so to speak. Is that how that works? I'm blown away by this. I'm curious. If you have an answer in the comments, I would love to read it. I always get curious about this stuff, and obviously, yes, I can easily, quote unquote, easily look this stuff up, but I like having conversations with people. I like when you're around the table at dinner or something and somebody asks a question. I prefer, rather than just looking it up right away, I'd rather try and come to an answer and then double check the answer so that everyone leaves a bit smarter than they came. But that conversation, to me, where people make their best guesses, or people who are experts in their field share their knowledge, I like that. I like conversation. It's fun. Alphas will have one litter in years when there is enough food. On average, they'll have a litter of 3 to 9 pups, but extremely large litters of up to 18 are possible. Holy crap. And there are accounts of litters of 25 cubs. Jeez. Arctic foxes live in a complex den that often has many entrances and is in raised ground away from frost. Interesting. This I did not know. The vixen will give birth to her cubs, plural, as we learned, in the den after a pregnancy of 46 to 58 days. The cubs remain in the den for 3 to 4 weeks with their mother, who is provided for by the alpha male. Weaning begins at 3 to 4 weeks when the cubs first begin venturing out of the den. Weaning is complete by the time the cubs are 9 weeks old. Arctic foxes reach sexual maturity at 10 months old. Most foxes will leave the pack soon after sexual maturity or when there is a new litter. Often, one adult female will stay behind and help care for the cubs. Arctic foxes that have recently left their pack may live alone or in sibling groups for a time. Lone foxes may partner up with another lone fox of the opposite sex and search for territory. Once located, these foxes will start their own pack and become the alpha male and alpha female. I'm curious as to how territorial Arctic foxes actually are. There have been some very interesting studies on how territorial, I believe, wolves are. And it's some fascinating stuff, how they actually kind of like respect each other's territorial boundaries. And they kind of like, it's some very fascinating stuff. So I'm curious, actually. Anytime I read about this territory stuff, I get curious. I wonder how territorial foxes are and how big their ranges are per se as well. Research status, they do have... No, they don't have anything special. I was just pleased during the time lapse when I came across the tennis ball. I was giddy. But they don't have anything unique or special for themselves. I am curious, though, to see... Oh, actually, the Skittle feeder might be unique to them. Sorry, my apologies. The Skittle feeder might be unique to them. We've seen Skittles elsewhere, but those are for the bigger animals to, like, bob them around. But the actual feeder itself? I don't think so. Fun fact number 1. The Arctic fox is the only native land mammal found in Iceland. I did not know that. Interesting. Fun fact number 2. Arctic fox paw pads are completely covered in fur, giving them their Latin species name Lagopus, meaning rabbit foot. I was wondering about that, because rabbits are lagomorphs. So I was like, oh, what's the connection there with the lago? Because, I mean, again, it wasn't necessary that there would be a connection, but I thought there might be. And lo and behold, okay, meaning rabbit foot. Interesting. All right, fair enough. Fantastic. Fun fact number 3, Arctic foxes and lemmings have interlinked cyclical population density, meaning the abundance of both species is highly dependent on the other. This is maybe the most funnest fact we've had in all of Zoopedia. I don't know. That might be extremely high praise, but this might be in like the top 5 of fun facts. Like, that's fascinating. Why? It's the perfect fun fact, because you go, oh, well, that's interesting, and now I want to look it up, and I really want to know. A, why? B, are there other animals that are like this in this interlinked sort of a relationship with each other? And I don't mean like a traditional, symbiotic relationship, or even, any kind of codependent or whatever dependent relationship. But is that what Arctic foxes and lemmings have? Are they dependent on each other? Or is there abundance depend? Like, is there a difference? Oh, I gotta look this up. This is interesting. Fun fact number 4, the Arctic fox may build up its body fat by 50% in the autumn in order to survive the Arctic winter. Oh, that just sounds even cuter. Oh my god. Fun fact number 5, the Arctic fox must deal with a temperature difference of up to 212 degrees Fahrenheit between its internal body temperature and the environmental temperature. Okay, look. Listen. So the thing is, I often joke about how like pounds make no sense to me, but I can roughly understand whereabouts pounds sits, right? Like, I can kind of guess. If someone says, "Oh yeah, I weigh 100 pounds," I can be like, "Wow, that's really light for a full-grown, I don't know, bodybuilder." I don't know, right? I can kind of grasp. Fahrenheit, not a clue. 30 is 0 is about all I know. 212 degrees Fahrenheit is 100 degrees Celsius of difference. What? Wait. They must deal with a temperature difference of up to... Wait. I'm guessing that's at the most extreme, right? So that means when it's negative 50 out and about, then they might internally be at 50 degrees Celsius. Is that the implication there? Must deal with a temperature difference of up to 212 Fahrenheit between its internal body temperature and the environmental temperature. It says up to, so I would imagine at its most extreme, their core body temperature is about 50 degrees Celsius. Huh. That would make the 100 degrees Celsius difference make sense. I'm also confused as to why, like, this is Celsius, but why is the fun fact written in Fahrenheit? Anyway, interspecies enrichment, there is none. Good stuff. Let's go ahead and actually get some of these Arctic foxes in here. God, I love that shortcut key. Atiktalak. I'm probably butchering this pronunciation, and for that I apologize. I will happily take on suggestions and meanings as well. Ooh, Amka over here. Those are some really good stats. Go ahead and adopt you. Don't mind if I do. Or rescue indeed. And Atiktalak is another female. Aput over here, or Tonrak. Again, I'm probably butchering all of these, and I do apologize if I am. But I welcome any corrections so I can get them right the next time I have the opportunity of saying the names. Who do I go with? I mean, I guess you're arguably a bit better, sure. Let's just get all of them. What am I doing? We can have 6, right? It's a fairly large number we can have. Where am I? Species data, up to 6 males, up to 6 females. So, works for me. Go ahead and grab them all. Go ahead and move them over to this habitat. Time to unpause. And I'm so excited for them. I'm so excited for them. Now, I do want to make sure that they don't actually have any snow in their little, like, den area, right? So let's go ahead and move this cooler, maybe, like, up over here or something. Just to try and keep the frost away over here. And everything else can hopefully nice and chilly. There we go. Good stuff, good stuff. Might need to actually put another one down. Like, up over here. Cool this area off as well. And I'm curious, like, I imagine for the their little, like, eating animation, let's call it, I imagine you need to have snow on the ground for them to actually do it. I just realized I don't have power up there, I don't think so. Need to be down over here. Again, once the temperature drops, we should see... I mean, again, we're still a little too high over here. We'll be fine. You know what I do need to do, though? Actually, I kind of don't mind how this grass looks down here, because it does look a little bit like, what's it called? I forgot the name is escaping me right now. But that really, like, slimy, kind of slimy stuff that you, like, kind of sometimes wade through when you walk into a lake. Get some more snow down over here. Yeah, I feel like that works. This really, to me... Oh, why is this out over here? Oh, I guess it rolled out. This really, to me, reminds me of one time I was at a cottage in the middle of... in the dead of winter. We had to go for work, actually. We were doing a commercial shoot. And it needed to be in... Well, it didn't need to be in cottage country, per se. It needed to be in, like, the... like... by the Canadian like shield and stuff, and so we stationed ourselves at a cottage. That's where all the equipment and stuff was kept. That's where we slept as well, to be close to where we're actually, like, filming and stuff. And so I've been in cottage country in the dead of winter, and it was so cold. But honestly, like, normally going to the cottage is something you do in the summer, but honestly, going during the winter was such a great experience. Just... it's so cold, you huddle around the fireplace, so good. So good. Don't get me wrong, going in the summer is excellent as well. You wake up and it's just a little too hot, so you just walk into the lake. Amazing. Okay, look, on the topic of amazing, I'm losing it. Oh, their tail wagging stopped right when I zoomed in. Oh, there we go again. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Too much long grass. I agree. Too much coverage as well, eh? That's fair. That's fair. We do have a lot of trees over here. Why don't we go ahead and get rid of some of this tall grass. That's an interesting sound. Guess that's their call. Oh, there we go. Hello. Hey, buddy. Still too much long grass. Oh my god. I'm losing my mind. Okay, hold on. Let's really quickly go ahead and get rid of the tall grass. I should have realized that the tall grass would be a no-no. I didn't realize that this much coverage would be a problem as well, but I suppose I should have seen that coming. Get rid of you as well. There we go. I don't think it's a problem that we have to necessarily correct. I don't think it's going to bother them to the point of preventing... Did they escape? Where'd they go? Where are my Arctic foxes? I don't think the coverage is too much of a problem, but we'll check. Where are you? There you are. Yeah, they can definitely escape. Still too much long grass. Alright. Hang on. Go ahead and pause. I have to actually fix this. Didn't realize how tiny they were. So they can get up. Can they get up over here? Yeah, so this needs to be taller. Go ahead and raise. Sorry, come on. Not a fan of this tool still. Like, why? Why can't I... Like, what's the deal there? You know? Alright, let's go ahead and lift this up. Don't think this will actually block their access up over here, because I think they're able to come up from over here, right? Go ahead and duplicate this out over here. I think this is the first time we've had escape routes in our enclosure for this mini-series. Go ahead and pull this up over here. Yep. The problem is that this is probably where a lot of the excess coverage is coming from. Just having all these trees in their space. Probably a big part of what's bothering them. I wonder if I can't pull some of these back. I don't have to worry about it as much. Pull you back as well. Pull you back as well. Again, we should probably, you know, get these to the right height. And actually help make more sense of this. That might do the trick. I think they're probably still able to escape from some of these spots. Gotta unpause for that though. Where are we? They're so cute. The sound is just adorable. Alright, hang in there, buddy. Hang in there. I gotta figure out if you can still escape. You can still get out from over here. And I think once they get out from over there, they have access to basically everything. From over here, are you blocked off? You are cut off, yeah. So all we're looking at is their access over here. And that's actually very steep. I'm surprised they can get out over here. But not any more, I should hope. Actually, that might still be enough room for them to get out. There we go. Beauty. Oh, no, looks like they still have an escape route over here. Well, that's just because... Okay. That's fine, though, because this is just because of the angles here. Can I add... Nope. I meant to add here. Pull this back, and that should be fine. Where are you? I keep mistaking the cooler for the Arctic fox. Where are you, buddy? I hear you, but I don't see you. What do we have over here? Oh my god, all these stressed out animals. For what reason? Multiple animals are hungry over here. Go ahead and call a keeper. I'm pretty sure animal death and stuff is not active, but I still don't want to have 30 warnings. I think the stressed animals are just because of crowds and stuff. Again, sandbox mode, so I'm not too worried. By the way, this was an excellent suggestion to include some like food and drink and stuff, so people actually maybe come and explore this area. So we've actually got people coming through now. So excellent suggestion. Thank you very much. Okay, where are my Arctic foxes? I want to hang out with them. There we go. Very good camouflage. All right. I think you're good. Yeah, we're good. Great. Hey, buddy. I'm waiting for you guys for a very long time. Oh my god. They're so fluffy. Their call is so interesting though. Into the water? Nope. It's like he could tell how cold it might be and he's like, nope, nope, nope. Oh, go. Yes, go, 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 go. 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 Ah, come on. Nice. Off they go. Trying to keep an eye on this one. I'm like flipping out over here. There's like too many of them to look at. Oh. Oh. Oh my god. Alright, okay, that's it. That's the episode. It's not gonna get better than that, no. We're still going, we're still going. There's so much to look at. Look at that face. Look at those eyes. Look at that nose. They're so cute. Look at those ears. Look at that tail. I'm gonna do this for every body part. They're just so cute. Just every time the tail wiggles, I'm just like so pleased. And that blink, oh my god. You're killing me here, game. You're killing me. Oh man. It's just way too good. Oh, come on. Come on, come on. Come on. No. Come on. Go, 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 go. Get in there. Damn it. I'm like, again, I'm 99% sure the animation that I want to catch is in the game. So sure, I couldn't have dreamt it up. Oh. No, nope, that's not the animation I was looking for. That's the animation I'll get. Alright, fair enough. Oh. Oh. That guy just shake off some water? I mean, he did. Now he's taking a poop, but... Alright. just like bobbing through. You just like hear this music playing in my head of them bobbing through. All just pooping away. Come on, come on, come on, buddy. Oh, man. What did I miss there? Oh, you see him like hop out of the box? I hate when that happens. I hate when I catch the tail end of a fun animation. That's just my luck. So caught up on this guy over here. So cute. Literally, my eyes are like going sideways, trying to keep an eye on all of them. I don't want to miss anything. Come on. Come on. Well, I mean, you're just sniffing at the marker. Saw him go up to the box. Here we go. Get in there. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Oh no. Alright, well, I'm glad I caught that one. He seems pretty pleased as well. Come on, go buddy, go, go. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about, I'm sure. Every time they're sniffing at the ground, I think you know what I'm getting at. There's a very specific thing that Arctic foxes do that is absolutely impressive and adorable. That's a funny walk. The angle of his terrain isn't really working out in his favor. I don't think we've seen them play with the skittle either, have we? Come on. Come on. Come on. No, no such luck. Alright, what are we looking at in terms of bonding? And alphas. That is a bamboo feeder. That's an Arctic fox. No bonding yet. Tonrak. Male, no bonding yet. I need like to investigate both males or both females, right? So I guess it would show if there was an alpha. Like it would show next to their name or whatever as well that they're an alpha. Where did the other ones go? Okay, hang on. Before this is starting to become a serious problem over here. I feel like it's almost a different problem here. We have so many of them not being fed. I'm not sure why. But let's go ahead and trade a bunch of them out. Or release them to the wild. Just in case it's a water quantity thing or something. Oh man, I forgot about our little underwater tunnel over here. By the way, folks, again, if you want to see these spaces get built as well, all those are on the channel as well, of course, as you might imagine. Got one for each of the last, I think, 3 DLC. And beyond that as well, again, folks, if you want to actually pick the DLC up for yourself, or if you want to pick the game up for yourself, you can do that at the link in the description down below if you want to support the channel as you buy. You don't have to, there's no obligation or anything like that, of course. But if you want to pick it up and you've been enjoying, you know, Planet Zoo on this channel, or you've been enjoying this channel in general, you want to support it while grabbing something for yourself, you can do so, again, at the link in the description down below. The way to support the channel while getting something for yourself. It's a Steam key, so it'll work with the regular Steam install and everything. These guys are wrapped up differently than than the one that was wrapped up out there, right? I guess it's a difference between sitting down and sleeping. I love watching animals dream and like trying to figure out what they're dreaming about. I've mentioned my rabbit countless times. Elizabeth, she sometimes will dream about, and you can tell she's like sniffing at food or eating food or like pawing at something. It's fun. It's really fun to try and figure out what they're dreaming about. Oh, hey, buddy. Still no luck with that animation. I mean, obviously the game's got to keep something in its back pocket, right? It's got to keep something hidden away from us so that we keep needing to keep an eye out for it. And it seems as though Arctic Fox pups and that one animation will be it. Because folks, I do think this is where we're going to go ahead and call it a session. There's still a lot to see with the Arctic Foxes, of course, but with their ability to reproduce in the wild being so easy, I don't think we'll have too much trouble with that. Oh my god. Well, I'm glad I stayed around long enough to witness that. Folks, I hope you enjoyed this session. If you did, you know what to do. Don't hesitate to let me know down below. Leave a like, leave a comment. It always makes a massive difference in how I approach content on the channel, what I do more or less of, how I go about doing it. Again, y'all know the drill by now. If you have any requests or opinions or thoughts that you'd like to share, leave them in the comments as well. I do read them all. I have seen your comments with regards to some of the new actual mechanics and systems that have been introduced with the latest patch as well, like the curbs, for lack of a better word. The word isn't coming to mind right now. Curbs, the seated animal talk thing that you saw me kind of fiddle around with a little bit, but then I realized that this wouldn't really work perfectly. This enclosure wouldn't work perfectly for it. But I've seen those requests and I am keeping them in mind. I want to make sure I take the opportunity to actually experiment with them as well. So if you have any other thoughts, opinions, or requests, feel free to leave them in the comments down below, and if I can integrate them, I will definitely try and do so. But folks, like I was saying, this is the end of today's session. I hope you had a good time. If you did, again, let me know down below. Leave that like, leave that comment. It does make a very big difference. And on the topic of making a very big difference, a massive thanks goes out to all of the channel members and patrons who've been supporting the channel on a monthly basis. Y'all keep us alive and running smoothly. And of course, a big old thanks goes out to each and every one of you for watching. Until next time. Cheers.